Oh, it looks like we're, hello. Well, that's going to be annoying, but it's not important. We'll get into it in a minute. Welcome to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Um, the sixth mainline game in the series. Well, sixth generation, whatever you want to call it. At least that's what the wiki said, damn it. Anyway, Monster Hunter series has become one of my favorite games, like all time. I started with Monster Hunter World. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I did play one of the older games a while back. I think it was Generations Ultimate. And honestly, it almost turned me off the whole series. It was not that it was bad, it was just so goddamn slow, but then again, I knew nothing about the game and I was trying with Greatsword to start with, and that's not a great place to start. It really just isn't. I know people love the Greatsword. It's one of those This is one of those games where like you have certain ways that people choose to play that involves like their weapon choice and things like that. And a few of them tend to get very defensive and a little bit elitist. I say using massive amounts of understatement, about which is the best weapon. Uh, I subscribe to none of that bullshit. This is literally just you pick the way you want to play, and it can change like what works for you between games. Like in World, I used the bow and the charge blade, and this one, doing my first like playthrough, I haven't finished it or anything, but because I kind of wanted to save it for this. But this time I was playing with the switch axe, which we'll get into all the weapons and what they do. But for now, it's time to create our hunter. I think... Oh, that's right, I have a bunch of DLC. We need somewhere to start, but I'm definitely not leaving it. Because character creation is a process, okay? We're just going to say that. I'm not sure what I want to go for. I honestly kind of want to give a shot at like making myself in this, just because I think it would be fun. Yeah, why don't we do that? Because I don't know. I don't have like a mirror or anything, but I'll do my best. Where's a good starting place? Like, it does... No matter what, I'm going to end up having to change some things, so... Honestly, it kind of doesn't even matter. You know, I guess we'll go with that. And I don't think that should work. Okay. Let's start with the hairstyle. Because for some reason I always start with that and it seems to work. So trying to find something that looks close to what I have now. That's relatively close. Let's stick with that for now and then see what we can do. A lot of these. I almost had this before, weirdly enough. Like my hair was definitely long enough for it, but yeah, I didn't know how to braid. Not that I didn't have people offering, but still. No, I'm gonna go with what we got now. And we can always like change it later if we find something better. I don't want to take too long. None of these are dark enough. We're gonna have to go with a custom one. Let's see here. No, it's got to be darker than that. Why is it so hard to just do brown? Damn it. That isn't terrible. My actual hair's a little longer than this, but I think this will work. Again, can always change it. I'll probably do like some of the... I want to get the face and stuff right, because obviously I can't just go back and change that one, but like the hair I'm not too worried about. Let's see here. Let's get into this, I suppose. There's also going to be some limitations here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it perfectly by any means, but I want to say that's give or take a little bit more than that, somewhere around there maybe. What is this changing? Oh, okay. This is one of those trust the process things, isn't it? This is definitely going to look worse before it looks better. That's not right, but... No. There's got to be a way to make that. It's like the part between like the jaw area and the chin that is just wrong. Just trust the process, damn it. I have more of a tan than that, jeez. Not that much though. I think that's about right. How does this work? I don't see what this is changing. What the hell is this changing, damn it? Oh, that. Oh, no. Stick that about there, I guess. Hairstyle, eyebrows. Trying to look at all these, see what their options are. No. None of these are very close. I was trying to think I should have picked a different base, to be honest with you. You know what? We're gonna do that. Maybe something that's a little closer to start with. Where did all the other ones go? I guess I'm stuck working with this. That sucks. This is going horribly. To be fair, I get very picky about this kind of shit. Around there, maybe? Oh, none of that. Choice which that goes up. Somewhere on there, maybe. I've kind of already given up on making this look exactly like me. Change both. Oh, that's tempting, but no. Let's see here. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and change things, but this is about right. It's not perfectly. A little more gray than that, but I think that's going to be about as close as I can get. That's actually probably right. Is there a way I can do this that's a little better? That seems wrong somehow. God. This is gonna bug me. Doesn't seem entirely wrong. Some of this is. No, that's wrong. Let's just fix that. Why did I do that again? That's probably as close as I'm getting. It's definitely not perfect, but I also don't want to be here all day. It's still kind of bugging me too, but it's fine. I do have to fix this. It's not what my eyebrows look like, damn it. How about if I change the color? That's a little better. At least you can definitely see it now. Did it just fucking... Why did you do this? seriously, I'll just do that all the way up. Screw it. Okay. A little close. That's not horrible. It's definitely not right, though. Oh, come on, don't make me just go with generic ones. I'd really rather not have to do that. Oh, this is terrible. This is going to be the part that I get stuck on, right? Some adjustment, that one kind of works. I hate this. Does not look right. I know they're not going to have the right thing here. Honestly, that's kind of close. They don't actually have like the full-on beard. But I guess this will work. Honestly, that is really just the best one, huh? I guess that'll have to do. Okay, we're getting pretty close. I know some of this is on here and I don't know why. Okay, that is instantly better. What the hell? It was just the makeup. Still not perfect. Maybe I can do something about that. Honestly, I'm much happier with this now. Somewhere around there? I'm kinda good here now. I'll be damned. What is that doing? Oh, it's that. That's okay. I can always, like, if it really bothers me way down the line, I can always just, like, do one of the character edit things and do it off stream so we're not sitting here doing nothing this whole goddamn time. It's been 20 minutes. Time to move on. Let's do some of these. Just because it's fun. Let's see, what do I want to go with, though? There's so many of these to choose from. Let's take a quick look through. See what they do. I know for some of these, like, you can change the position and things. I did this before, so... I might do that. Lipstick. I know some of these are supposed to be like traditional things. Some of them are just goofy. But I think if we are going to do this, I want something that'll kind of stick. Got all these scars and things. Some of these are actually kind of cool looking. Definitely have to change the colors though. That's interesting. Actually, I think I got an idea. Start with this. I think it's good where it is, but the color's got to change. Just had an idea, and I'm just gonna go with it. Something. Yeah, somewhere around there. Can make it shiny. I don't think I want that. Metallic. That kind of just looks like it makes it darker. Transparent. Oh, you can just make it invisible, thus making it pointless to have. You can make them glow, though. That's kind of cool. I might do that just like a little bit, though. Somewhere around there. As far as I know, if we go into like a dark area, it'll still glow. That'd be kind of cool. So I'll go with that one. I'm going to need two of the same ones. This one. I think right about there. I'm going to make it smaller. Put it back here. Raise it up. Why? Oh, that's why. Because it's the position. I actually need to change the size to get it to do what I want. Vertical size. Nope. It's this one. Be very, very meticulous about this. One of those, and I'm actually kind of good with the color. But we will change these like we did with the other one. No, not that one. This one. That actually seems a little too bright. Like maybe a 5? And we should do the same thing with the other ones so they match. I'm going to do the same thing for the most part. Okay, turn these off. Put that up on 5 like the other one. Oh, I kind of like that. The mouth is bothering me though, because I never bothered changing it. That's why. Damn it. What the hell? That doesn't change. Actually be happy. This looks so weird now because for some reason, despite the mouth corner position being all the way up, they're still turned down. Which I guess makes a certain amount of sense anatomically speaking. I'm just messing with things to see how it looks, and it's not working out, damn it. That's too much. That is... How is that not actually too much? What the f... Okay, I'm still going to take it down a bit. Or neutral, maybe? Something about this doesn't seem right. Oh. I think that's about right. I don't know, I kind of give up at the moment. Okay. There. That's all set. We can move on. It's only been almost half an hour. Luckily, that's kind of it. I like this one. I don't know if I actually changed anything. I wasn't paying attention, but that's what I like. I got a voice type.
Hey. Nice. A hunter's job is never done. Yo, yo, yo. Wow.
I don't think I'm finding anybody that sounds the same as me.
Hello. This is great. You want a piece of me?
That guy sounds familiar. That's a voice actor I know.
I'll do my best.
Well, not that I know personally, but I know who it is.
Hi. Amazing. Woohoo! Hello. Most enjoyable. This will be easy.
Good day. Astounding.
Yo. Great work. I'll take you on. Yo. I rock. Nice.
I know that one too. I think that one's Billy Kametz.
Yo! Oh yeah! You wanna go? Magnificent!
Hey, let's do this. I'm the best.
Oh, we got these two.
What up? What's up, y'all? You don't even need my help anymore. I'm gonna smack the monsters with this.
That? No.
Ah, looks like you learned a thing or two.
You may bow to me if you will. Done. Well, not bad for a commoner.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanna fight, huh?
Hiya. You never cease to amaze.
Watch a dual blades master at work. My blades are the best.
That's a freaking Ego Raptor.
I can see a whole world ahead of me.
Now, I'm gonna go with this one. I really like this voice actor, so that's the one I'm gonna stick with. I think that's it. We're gonna go with this. Yeah. Obviously. Yes. Time to make a dog. These ones should actually be much quicker, so. Let's just start with, what kind of pattern do we want? Okay, so we got... This is the standard one. Which I think like 3 of the NPC's dogs already look like that. So no. This is kind of the husky pattern. Or maybe this one. I'm not sure. This one's supposed to be like a hyena's stripes, right? This one looks like it's on fire. Let's see here. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards one of these. We might not actually see these that much. Just because there's layered armor and things, like cosmetic stuff you can do with your pets too. Of which you get 3 of them. If anybody's watching this who doesn't know much about the games. You actually can get a lot more, but you start with 3. You get one of these, the Palamute, which is just a dog, but you can ride it around and it fights, and that's awesome. Let's see, what am I trying to do here? Honestly, kind of good with the white on the bottom there. I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. This was going to be quicker, and now I can't freaking think of how I want it to look. I'm almost tempted to leave it, because that's not a bad look, but... honestly, I think I'm going to go with this. Just a quick change. That is not what I thought it would look like. That is incorrect. That's still... what if we do... no. 2... damn it. And 0. It's not a horrible look. It's really not going to matter in the end, but whatever. Eyes. What kind of dog eyes do we want? I have a curious boy. I kind of like these ones. He just looks happier, you know? Think. I don't know, for some reason I really like these, like, teal, whatever the hell it is. Nice bright colors. Kind of ears. Kind of floppy ears. What the hell is that supposed to be? Honestly, kind of going with the whole happy look. Big old perked up ears. Going for the tail, huh? Honestly, on the floofy tail. I really kind of want the floofy tail. It doesn't really seem to fit with the rest of his body, though, which is kind of... maybe the curly one? Kind of looks like It's weird. I'm going to say it looks like a bird from Skyward Sword, but those were based off of dogs. So, you know what? I'm just going to go with this swirly tail. Why not? This is just the color for this thing. I'm going to make it straight blue. There we go. That sounds yappy. I don't want to deal with yappy. Yeah, yeah, that one works. Oh, we need a name. Huh. Be a good name for the dog. I'm gonna look something up real quick. Because I have an idea for a name. But... Stop it. Damn it. Anyway, I have an idea for what the name... There we go. That works out really well, actually. It sounds like a decent name. Okay. So, I'm going to go with... Because this is a very heavily Japanese-themed, like culturally and everything, Monster Hunter. So I figured Japanese names for the animals would work out. Ryoshi means hunter. And that's basically what the dog is helping us do. So I figure that kind of works out. So we'll do that, and now we got to do the cat. Usually, I try to do... I don't know. I got that millennial thing of liking black cats, but the black cats in this one, like, that is about as dark as it gets. It doesn't look like a black cat. It looks like a gray cat, and that's not what I want to do. So... Like, I will try and see if I can get it dark. Like, I will show you as dark as it gets. For some reason... And, like, this wasn't the case in World, the game before this. Like, you could have, like, actual black cats. But for some reason, they have decided that the best you're getting is kind of gray. Which is annoying. But I guess what this does do... Could always do a tuxedo cat. Why is his ears turning? No. Okay, but I can fix that. We'll just have to change the pattern. Why is it backwards? What the hell? What the shit is this? Why? Okay. What part is what? Like, that's literally the best I can do. And look at the whiskers. Like, why are they yellow? What the hell? It'd be easy enough to do, like, even this would be passable if it wasn't for the fact that the whiskers look so freaking... Is it a texture issue? Because if you look, there's like... I don't know what the hell that stuff is. That doesn't look like whiskers. That looks like feathers. And it makes this whole thing, like, annoying. Honestly, I kind of just want to leave it. Like, fuck it. You're probably not going to see it much anyway. Because, again, like, they do armor and stuff for your pets. And even on top of that, there's the layered armor, which is purely cosmetic, which you can do other stuff with that too. You're probably not going to see much of the actual cat in the end anyway. That's actually kind of exactly where I want it to be, so I'll leave it. What do we got for ears? Ears. What that? Okay. Interesting ears. What? Oh my. No, we're just going with the regular ears. I'm kind of at the point where I've lost patience. I gotta just want this over with. Do a longer tail? Why is his tail busted up? Honestly, sure. Clothing, we'll do the same thing we did with the dog. Well, he sounds like a dick. We're just gonna leave there that... Okay. Now this one is actually important. This determines what your cat can and can't do, like to help you in a fight. And unlike in World, you don't get to change it. Like in World, they had a system where like you made friends with these little cats that are like yours, but they're like wild ones that live out in the different areas of the world, and they would teach your cat how to do things if you made friends with them. And then you could like choose the role you wanted your cat to have in each mission. You can't do that in this one. You're stuck with whatever you pick in the first place, but you do have the option of like hiring more of them. They say hiring, you're basically buying them. It's like a one-time payment and that's it. But right now, your option is you pick one of these, and that is all your cat gets to do until you buy more, and they can have different jobs. It kind of bugs me. It was one of those, this is kind of a step backwards in the series as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, it is what it is, and we've got what we got. So, we just got to pick one that's going to work. Now, healer is what it says it is. There's different ways that your cat sets up like things in the area to like assist you throughout the fight. And the healer one, it starts off with like plants that they plant that grow really fast, and then they create like areas where if you stand in them you heal, or they can get rid of things like poison and things like that. Assist, I think, is mostly like setting traps and things. Fighting is literally it just gets in there and fucking fights for you. Bombardier is pretty self-explanatory. It throws bombs. And gathering, it will actually like carve off pieces of the enemy while you fight them. Let me look something up real quick. Because there's one like thing they learn later, depending on what support type you pick, that is really useful. And I want to make sure I'm picking the right one, because otherwise... Oh, that's the lighting. I keep forgetting that. Go away, go away. But there's a specific weapon. It's like a... Not so much a siege weapon, but is used... It's like a placed weapon in the world called a Dragonator, which, like it sounds, is generally used against giant king dragons. But they have a miniature version of it they can set up whenever they want. I want to make sure. Honestly, I can't find what I'm looking for. But if it's gonna be, I just want some help fighting things. You'd think the fight one would be the best choice. However, it's actually really not. One of the biggest things you can do in this game, which is really useful, is breaking monsters. You can break off parts, you can do things like cut off their tails, break off scales, things like that. I think we're good here. I'm going to go with Bombardier because that's one of the best for breaking parts. Yes. Let's see, what do I want to name him? But yeah, for like breaking parts and stuff, explosion damage, which you can get from a bunch of different sources, is one of the best ways to do that. And especially since I plan on playing with a cutting weapon, not a bludgeoning weapon. Being able... They don't break parts very well, but they do the severing parts really well. So things like cutting off tails, things like that, they're really good with. But like breaking parts, like the scales and things like that, you need bludgeoning or explosion damage. And we'll get into the damage types and stuff later. But, let me real quick... Something is wrong here. There we go. Okay, I found the thing. This one might be a little cheesy, just because... I don't know. I just want to do that. Tomodachi, which means friend. I do have some other save files. I am going to save over this one, just because... Yeah. There we go. Let's do this. I'm gonna actually get into the game, finally. So, we have random hallucination dream. But I'll let the actual story go now, so I'll be quiet. Mostly. Who are you and why are you in my house?
Dear, looks like we've been caught in the act, Minato.
Quite disappointing, Hinoa.
I really don't see how anyone could have noticed us.
It was a perfect display of stealth.
That's why we expect great things of you. You're always razor sharp.
Well then, I guess we still have a lot of training left to do.
What? You don't want us sneaking in? Oh, come on. This is Kamura. We're all practically family here.
You still need to respect boundaries.
Besides, Elder Fugen is looking for you.
So go get ready. Can't keep him waiting. Shall we go?
here we go into the actual game. After plenty of more info dropping and some tutorials. So Monster Hunter Rise was, in a lot of ways, a huge upgrade from the last game. Although I do have to say, the last game still is my favorite. I guess it's that thing where your favorite is always the one you start with. And there we go. Back to the story.
Elder Fugan, we did like you asked.
Oh, Hinoa, Minoto, thank you. I just got an important letter. It looks like we've got a rampage on our hands.
So it's finally beginning.
It's been 50 years since the last calamity. But I remember like it was yesterday.
A huge pack of monsters in a giant stampede. They attack the village in a frenzied rage. Nobody knows why this happens, but it came close to wiping out our village last time.
I think it's time we paid a visit to the stronghold. We have to protect the village.
There's nothing to worry about, Elder Fugan. All of us, everyone in Kamura, we've all been training for this moment for our entire lives.
Hinoa, we should start preparations right away.
Now that's what I like to hear. So,
Oh boy. Anyway, that wasn't awkward at all. Well, apparently we've got some news. I'll get back to what I was saying after we can walk around again.
great job.
So, got a message from the guild. We are officially a hunter, which means we can start the game, I guess. Why are you calling me Squirt? I shouldn't call you that now that you're certified, but don't think that'll stop me. Wow, how respectful. Anyway. Okay, you're back. Okay,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah.
How am I officially a hunter if I haven't registered with the guild? That part never made sense to me. Like, I get it's to give you an excuse to walk around and meet certain people, but, like, you'd think you'd have to register before they certified you?
But first,
Oh, shopping. So this is the part where they force me to walk around to every single NPC that does anything for us and talk to them.
there.
Kagero the Merchant. Marketeer Mystery. Okay, I get he has the mask on his face, but... Oh, that's right. I'm gonna have to change some of this shit, aren't I? Yeah, I definitely need to change that, because that's annoying. Yeah, not gonna do all that right now. It's not gonna let me change things. That probably
Yep.
shouldn't be the case, but alright. It's been a long time. We go shopping together. When did we ever do this? What is our relationship? I'm so confused. No, that was the wrong person. Talk to this one.
Welcome to my shop.
That voice sounds familiar. Felicitations? Okay. Fancy words. I don't know, I kind of like that, actually. So yeah, this is where you can buy, like, all the basic... Here's the thing. 99% of anything you can buy from this guy, you can just make yourself, because this game has a crafting system. But it can be really useful if you don't have the option. I just hold off on buying what I want until the sale. Wow, okay. That's because she's a bargain hunter, that's all. It's just a different kind of hunter. That's what this village is all about anyway. Anyway. But, yeah. Like, if you don't have the option, like, you need something for, like, a quest or something, and you don't have the time to go looking for the pieces you need, and materials, like, you can just buy it, too. And some stuff you can only buy from him. Some of them will be quest rewards too, but it's just easier. Like, it's one of those, most of buying stuff from the shop is just paying for convenience. The blacksmith, which, okay, I get it. Yes, let's get out of there. Yeah, I can move the camera. It's not hard. It's something in every 3D game. Well, let's go talk to this guy. This is the blacksmith, and this is one of the most important places in the game. Yep. I'm a hunter too. So the village has its own resident hunter. Apparently, no one else is, despite the fact that other people go out hunting anyway.
Yeah.
This guy is, how do I put this? Kind of a dick. But he's actually, like, it's only, like, they made it really clear that it's, like, he's a grumpy old man, but he's actually kind of really cool. And he's just really into his work. Yes, we can go to the Buddy Plaza. We'll be doing that soon. I plan on doing that. This is the things, like, some of the characters actually have their own, like, mini storylines. The blacksmith and the kid who runs the place where you can go and, like, buy the dogs and cats, he's one of those disapproving of his kids' hobbies type thing. Well, grandson's hobbies. Which is why I stick with calling him a dick. Like, just be supportive of the kid. And it's a hugely important thing. Like she said, it's a noble profession. This guy literally is the one who trains and takes care of all of the animals that the hunters use on their hunts. Like, it's a huge fucking deal. And this guy's just like, I don't know where I went wrong. Like, eventually they kind of, like, I think it's something you do along the line that actually kind of gets them, like him, to start pulling his head out of his ass when it comes to that.
Last but not least.
The Dongo Shop. Okay. One of the bigger things in Monster Hunter is you have the option to eat before you go out on a hunt. One thing at a time. You know what? This can wait a second. The food... No. Let's wait, because I can explain it as we see it. And that'll make more sense that way. Now the wire bug gauge. One of the biggest improvements in this game over the last was the addition of wire bugs. So you can Spider-Man your way around the whole fucking world. But they do have a limit. Like, you have the little gauges on the bottom. But yeah, like, this game made huge improvements to the movement and, like, pace of the game. And that is one of the reasons that, despite the fact that I like World more, I still consider this game improved in a lot of ways. Because you're so much faster getting around, and it's so much less frustrating to get places. Anyway, here comes the food stuff. Yes, I am a hunter now. Small child. And why are you the one running this business? So what they've done with this is made, like dango, the traditional Japanese snack, into a customizable mechanic in the game. And apparently Hinoa is fucking obsessed with it.
Thank you.
Because why not?
Sure.
Yes. Ah, the item box. We'll get to that in a minute. Back where they're done with the registration thingy.
Sure.
Yes, she is obsessed.
What do you think?
Now here's where they force equip you with a weapon, because you can't actually be in the game without one for some reason. And they decided the longsword. Which I suppose makes sense with the setting. Like, this is supposed to be, like, very heavily influenced by Japan, that culture. Yes, I will talk to Master Hojo.
Go visit the hub.
Okay.
Come on.
But, so it kind of makes sense they picked the longsword, since that is pretty heavily based on the katana. It actually is really close to an actual existing weapon, despite the fact that this is oversized video game bullshit. Actually, before we go to the Gathering Hub, can I get to the thing now? I still can't. Damn it. I really want to change some of the controls just because it's annoying. And I can't do that either. I was going to change the weapon, but fine. Let's get this over with. Cutscene.
Oh. Pardon me.
So this is the Gathering Hub. This is essentially the multiplayer
This is Master Hojo.
kind of, well, hub, I guess. It's aptly named. Took forever to get here. I thought I was going to croak. Okay, which one of you is talking? Is it the old man or isn't the giant frog? If you're going to be doing frog puns, you got to realize that's going to raise questions. Yes, this is the guild master. I was getting to, you were this man is frustrating. With it. Is that supposed to be a ribbit pun? Okay, so all you're telling me is that this was pointless.
Yes.
So you can't even do your job right now? Is that what I'm reading? Master Itsushi. Okay, yes. So this is another thing. He gives... The two twins give us our quests. The one out in the rest of the town gives us the story or single-player quests. The one that's here in the Gathering Hub gives us multiplayer quests. We'll get into the differences between those in a minute. This guy gives us arena quests, which all happen like in arenas, obviously, but they have special rules to them. A lot of them have, like, you can only use preset sets of armor and weapons. Oh, the action bar. This is going to be annoying. I don't use this at all. Like, I don't use this feature in the slightest, aside from very rarely and only like 1 or 2 bits of it. Okay, so this is your way to take screenshots. Yeah, I don't need any of this. I'm just going to show you. So right now this is set to the arrows. I'm going to change that because I really don't like it. But if you go through, you can see there's a bunch of different stuff. Right now we need the camera. This brings up a camera. We can do it like this. I don't think we can use the other option right now. No, we can't. Why is dog? Please get out of the way. You're just going to keep this up, aren't you? Oh, I got to change the sensitivity for this. Anyway, there we go. And you just hit A, you take a picture. Obviously, we're only kind of required to do that one. But there are some other things you might want to grab pictures of if you get the chance. Want to hint some Devil Joe? Oh, monster puns. So we're going to have to go through... God damn it. I named this stream the way I did for a reason. This stuff goes on forever. I'm skipping so much just because it's something I will explain later. If we even need to go about it. But... Okay, before I go talk to Hinwa, let's finish explaining this area. The Gathering Hub is a meeting place for multiplayer. In World, it was the only place you could see other players in the game, aside from in quests themselves. And this one, like, you can actually have them all over town. It's just a much smaller limit. Mostly because this was originally made for the Switch, and it really just couldn't handle that shit. But the Gathering Hub has access to almost everything in the game. We have the quest counter, obviously. There's another store. We have the actual quest board, which we'll explain later. This is the same, the canteen is the same as the Dongo shop. Up here leads us to essentially like the prep area, where you have access to all the same things you would have in your house. There's the housekeeper, which lets you access certain things that we'll get into later. Buddy board lets you deal with stuff involving your animals. There's another blacksmith. There's the buddy smith, which is essentially, they do the weapons and armor for your dog and cat. Your item box is here. There's this little area that is kind of just decorative. But like, you can do all of this same stuff you can do outside and around town here in the Gathering Hub. There's only like 1 or 2 things you can't do elsewhere. Also, you can ride the dog. Why? What do you need? Yes, real hunter. Oh yeah, this is a reminder to actually like eat before you go out for a quest, which is kind of important because the food does serve a purpose, which we will get to soon.
It's a good day for
Alright, yes.
Sure.
Oh, our Kohoot, our third pet. It doesn't do actual... Like it says it helps you out, but it really kind of doesn't. Don't need that. So we need a friend or a name for this one. Unlike the other ones, you can like change the name and stuff anytime you want. What do I want to name you though? Like I didn't actually think of one for you. like most of what he does is just hold the camera for you, and I don't think that's really worth naming him for. Huh. What do we want to name Meow? Alright, I found something. This'll work. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged or something. Yeah, that's why. Will it work? You cannot use inappropriate words. That's not inappropriate. It's Japanese. You suck. It's literally fukuro, which is just the Japanese word for owl. But it wouldn't let me do that. So we're just going to go with this one instead.
Yep.
There. Tori, which just means bird. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. Like, I'm mostly self-taught when it comes to pronouncing Japanese.
Yeah.
So yes, there's some of the different types of quests. And the pedal lace, which is a bit of equipment which helps with these things. Spear birds. Spear birds are semi-permanent bonuses. They're little glowy birds that have different types of pollen that your pedal lace absorbs, and like these green ones, you see the little bar with the +3 that's green. That is an increase to your health that lasts for the rest of the quest. That's what I meant by semi-permanent. They last for the entire quest that you're in, but go away as soon as you leave the quest. Can't go per... Oh, that's right. All of the cats make cat puns. Senri the mailman. Mialo and Gratsan. Oh, this is going to be painful. But this is how you handle online stuff, too. There's so much. And yes, I have a bunch of DLC for this game, because I do that with every game, basically, that I actually get into. I want, like, all the damn DLC for it. So I can talk to either of the hub maidens. That's what they call them. Or the quest maiden and the hub maiden. Like I said, each one of the twins handles a different type of quest, basically. But let's talk to you first, because you have a bunch of shit that I got before and now need to... Yes, this is how you sign up or put yourself on online play. People can join your world and things like that. Something to do with spider webs. Clever. No, this doesn't need to be so long. Yeah, I know all this stuff. Get out all the tutorials. What we want right now... Go ahead and check all of this stuff. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff for me to claim. None to down. That's because I have them already from other characters. But yeah, this is all... These are all event quests. They're special events that they give you new things for. They'll usually have special rewards, things you can't get otherwise. A lot of them... Oh, no, there's actual, like, stuff, too. Legacy Talisman and the Veterans Talisman. I don't know how you get these. But I had them since I actually, like, got the game. Which might mean you get them for having Monster Hunter World, which would be cool. Oh, there's so much stuff here. I'm gonna go with that. Look at all these things. Okay, so I'm just... accept all of them. We have all of the things. Now these will be things like new hairstyles, new armor, some layered armor that we can access early. That's what this is. Yes, all of this. I don't want any of these things. So we have layered armor and layered armor loadouts. You can actually like have pre-put together sets and things. So right now we have the default starting armor. I kind of don't like the way it looks. Like, I like parts of it, but not all of it. But we can do things like, these are all just cosmetic. Okay, I guess I don't have to have the weapon show, but that does kind of help. So like, there's this set, which kind of isn't better. Got not elf ears, Wyverian ears, because there is a difference. Ox mask, they have like traditional stuff. Interesting. Some of these are just funny to kind of... Yeah. We can do cat ears. And the tail! That's kind of hilarious. Canine mask. Canine tail. That's kind of hilarious and reminds me of an old Power Rangers series. But anyway, I don't know if we're gonna... Have some sunglasses? I don't know, they're just regular, huh? Oh, come on. Really? I kind of didn't look through these as much as maybe I should have. I kind of like that. Let's see what this is. Oh, I like that too. I kind of want to go with this. That actually looks pretty decent. Is there a way I can make it better though? What if I use the summer... Because that turns it into shorts. And while I kind of like the belt, I kind of like it being the long coat more. If I want this. I think we're good. I think we found our outfit for the time being. We're going to go with this. I do want to change weapons, as I'm not particularly a fan of the longsword. Like, it's not bad. Like, when I first played World, that's what I started with. I just kind of want to do something else. I am tempted to give the Great Sword a try. I don't need the cheaty version. It is kind of slow for me, though. Well, I suppose I should go with the Switch Axe. I can't talk now. Maybe I've been doing this for too long. Nah, it's only been like an hour and 20 minutes. We do have ranged options. Light and heavy bow, gun and the bow. I suppose what we should do is go through each option and go over kind of like what its role is. The Great Sword is kind of the simple heavy hitter. As much as any of the weapons in this game can really be called simple. Some people think like some are overcomplicated, things like that. They're really not. But anyway, this one is a lot of damage, but it doesn't do too many hits because it's slow. That's just how it is. For anybody who's going to get upset, like it's a slower weapon, but it does decent damage. That's kind of how game balance works. But this is just a severing weapon, big hits. That's really all it is. The longsword, it's kind of a middle ground one. It's faster, but it doesn't do as much damage. It's kind of decent for combos, but that's about it. Yeah, straight up katana. Although it is pretty reminiscent of an actual existing weapon called a nodachi, and that's an odachi, not a nodachi. But They're a bit quicker, but still nowhere near the fastest in the game. The Sword and Shield is a pretty versatile weapon. It's quick. It can lay in a lot of secondary damage. Secondary damage being elemental damage or status damage. We'll get into those later. But it's also decent for defense. It's one of the easiest to use items with. But that's about it. The dual blades is all attack. This is do as much damage as quickly as possible. They don't do a ton of damage. They're one of those ones that is better for laying in the secondary type, but they're relatively solid. They have no defense though. You can't defend at all. You can with the Great Sword. As far as I know, you can block, and it has some other options like kicking and shoulder hits and things like that, but they don't really do much of anything. But if you want to be the spamming, just laying in damage, and you're good with having to avoid attacks, then this is a decent weapon. I might give this one a shot down the road. There's the Lance, which is exactly what it seems like. This is the wall. Like, you can poke all you want, because that's all it really does. That looks horrifying anyway. But as far as simple weapons go, this is the tank. And that's kind of all it's got going for it. It is the highest defense. It does... I want to say it's comparable to the longsword, but I'm not completely certain about that when it comes to damage. It's definitely slower. Then you have the Gun Lance, the first of our complicated weapons that have multiple functions. This is just like the Lance, except the defense is slightly lower, and it has explosions. I'm not kidding. Like, this is kind of a variant on the old Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII, where people thought it was ridiculous, even though it's actually a real thing. And it kind of is. Like, this is just a lance that explodes. It's really not much more complicated than that. You can charge up blast types, and you can do a lot of damage with it. In this particular game, you can fly for some reason, if you know how. I'm not going to be giving this one a shot, just because I have no idea how to do it. Maybe I'll give it a shot, like, off stream at some point, and if I can make it work well enough, I can show you guys, but until then, we have the hammer. This is the Great Sword, but punching instead of cutting. This is just a hammer. Some of them look like they have blades, like this one kind of does, but these are all bludgeoning damage. They don't sever, they break. So if that's your goal, this is a decent weapon for you. Again, it's heavy, so slow attacks, but relatively high damage. This one can also turn you into Sonic the Hedgehog or a Beyblade. Not quite as good a Beyblade as the dual blades do, but that's getting into special moves down the line. Then you have the hunting horn. This is almost completely a support weapon. Your button inputs for doing attacks build up notes, and then you can play a song, and these actually, you can see the melody effects, which those are actual bonuses you can give everyone around. You can increase defense, attack. Obviously those ones are right there, but there's plenty of other ones too. So if you want to be a support player and want to still do melee stuff, this is a perfect choice. I might do this one too if I put together a support build down the line, because one of the things I like to do, and I'll probably after we get through most of the story and stuff, one of my favorite things to do in this game is to join in on lower level players and help them through. I don't know why, it's just something I like to do, but yeah, we might do a couple streams of helping out the noobs, after I get my character built up, because right now I'm the noob. But now you have the two most complicated, which actually I'm going to leave these two to last. Let's get into these, which are mostly the range in the Insect Glaive. Insect Glaive, you see those extra icons? Yeah. The Insect Glaive is the closest you're ever going to get to like a bow, or I can't really say a spear because the lance counts for that, but this is the biggest acrobatic weapon. What this allows you to do is, have you ever played Final Fantasy and you know what a dragoon is? It's a lot of that. This lets you vault into the air and attack from aerial vantage points. As far as older games go, they had a mechanic where you could mount the monster and get a bunch of free damage while you're up there on their back. But it's more complicated than that, but that's basically what you did. This was the best weapon for that, because you could literally get into the air and above the monster from anywhere. This includes the only weapon that allows you to double jump. It didn't do a ton of damage, but it was nearly as fast as the dual blades, and it gave you another mechanic with these guys. There's a reason it's called the Insect Glaive. You had the option of the Maul Drone. Now these are just the starter ones, but they followed two different lines. The Maul Drone does bludgeoning, attack type blunt right there, and this one does severing. Essentially, it is a giant beetle that spends most of its time hanging out on your arm that you can launch at the enemy. Now, it would do damage, but you could also gather essences, is what they call them, that have different effects too, depending on what kind of monster it was, where you sent it at the monster. And you could do things like create clouds of healing dust, or blast dust, or like things that would make it so you get more critical hits, that kind of thing. And they would just float there in that spot until like you use them, like no matter what else happened. I don't really understand, like, I do understand how the weapon works. I just, in this game, I've never kind of liked it. Although, to be honest with you, I haven't really tried it in Rise, so I might give it a shot too. I'm not going to do what I normally do, which is like pick the one or two weapons I'm going to use and sell everything else. I will give everything a shot at one point or another, but I kind of already know what I'm going to focus on. Speaking of which, here's our ranged options. We'll start with the bow, because it's a bow. Pretty simple. Here's what the two starting ones look like. You don't have to worry about ammunition, although you do have to worry about something called coatings. In general, for these, like, you just sit there and spam them at the monster. It's a mid-range weapon, like mid to short-range weapon, which isn't all that great considering what it's supposed to be. Like, the default ranged weapons should kind of be longer range, in my opinion. But in this case, it makes perfect sense. Because they also have another ranged weapon type. One of the things that all of these have in common is something called, you can see it right there, called the arc shot. And these ones have recovery. In the older games, what that meant was you would shoot an arrow up into the air that was carrying like this bag behind it, and the bag would open and like tons of rocks, whatever, like spike balls. It was dependent on the graphic, but it's just falling shit, and that would do more damage to the monster, which actually was really helpful for breaking parts, things like that. And this, and what I think is kind of a mistake, I don't really like that they did it, they replaced that with different effects. These recovery ones being kind of like a spotlight straight down that healed people. And there's other ones for different effects too. I get how you could use that like as a support character. It's just kind of like a bunch of different ones have different effects, and you've got to choose between like what kind of damage it does what its secondary effect does, and then what its arc shot does, and it makes it kind of a pain in the ass to decide like what kind of weapons you want to go for, because like a lot of the better ones for damage and stuff have bad effects for the other stuff, things like that. So while I use the bow a lot in World, like it's my secondary weapon that I use whenever I do support playing, I don't use it at all in this just because it's kind of that bad that they did that. But that's just my opinion. As for the other ones, we have the light bow gun. These are just fucking guns. This turns the game into a third-person shooter. So here's a look at the 2 starter ones. I will probably go with a light bow gun as my secondary weapon type. But I'm probably only going to do like 1 or 2 of them. I'm not going to do a full like 1 for every element thing like that. Just because, I don't know, I'm just not as invested in a light bow gun as I was in the bow in the other games. But these have a lot more things to take into consideration. These work as guns. So you've got to worry about things like it says on the side, deviation, recoil, reload times, whether or not you have any mods on them. Like you can do like a longer barrel that, if I remember right, slightly lowers the damage. No, the silencer lowers the damage. Silencer lowers the damage and makes it so it's easier for the monsters to lose track of you, or not notice you in the first place. The longer barrel increases damage in range. But that's just like one out of the many. There's also special ammo, like the Wyvern Blast one is, I think, a mine that you put down. I don't know, I haven't looked at it in a while. But aside from that, they also have the heavy bow gun, which a lot of the light bow guns are like multi-shot or quick to fire, that kind of thing. The heavy bow gun is more your single shot precision, lots of damage, to the point where one of their abilities, you'll see the special ammo, there is Wyvern Snipe. This is a sniper rifle. If you were to have like a general comparison for the two in another game, I'm going to go with Halo just because I know Halo pretty well. The light bow gun is pretty close to like the battle rifle. The heavy bow gun is the sniper rifle. Or something like the DMR for normal shots. They're relatively easy to use as long as you can handle third-person shooters. Like if you've played, I want to say like Gears of War. It's the only third-person shooter I can think of off the top of my head. You'll be able to handle these just fine. They're a much simpler weapon than the bow in many cases, except both of them have to deal with ammo. Now, normal shot ammo is you just have infinite, but like you actually have to like craft and stock ammo for these ones for like anything better than that. And they have a bunch of different kinds. They have like spread shot, so like shotgun, piercing ammo. They have elemental stuff, like all the same kind of things you can do with other stuff you can do with these two, but you have to actually have the ammo, and not every one of them can use every type of ammo. And we'll get into that if we actually go down that line, but it's a lot of bookkeeping and preparation to use those properly. Now, the two that are left, the switch axe and the charge blade. My brain is getting ahead of my mouth. These are the two that are considered complicated. They're really not. They just seem like it because there's a lot of extra bits involved. When I played World, I played the charge blade. When I started playing this, it seemed kind of slow, so I gave the switch axe a try, and I liked it a lot more. That's probably going to be what I default to this time around, but I do want to give them all a shot. So, to look at that first, because it is supposed to be simpler. You can see it looks like a giant axe. But this and the Charge Blade have the similar trait that they transform in a way. But we're going to start with this one because it is simpler. The axe is the default form. Its transforming turns it into essentially, it'll look a lot like the greatsword in a lot of ways, but it's not. It is much faster. And what it does is it builds up this meter near the top of the screen. You'll see it when we use one. That once you get there, it charges up the weapon with some sort of energy. Like this one says power file, which basically just means it does more damage. Which, that alone is still a great bonus. And in general, like when you do that, it's time to switch it back to the axe form, which it does. It becomes more like the greatsword. It becomes slower, but does a ton more damage. The problem is that the two forms each have kind of their own meter, and when you use one form, it depletes the meter for that form, but it builds up the meter for the other one. It's kind of to encourage you to keep switching back and forth and not just fall into a rut. We will use this weapon a lot. I'm pretty sure, because it is my favorite one in this game. So I'll be able to explain that a little more in depth. But for now, we're going to move on because we've actually been sitting here for a little too long. So, Charge Blade, last one, is a sword and shield. Sort of. The shield is a lot bigger than any sword and shield, like both are. This transforms as well by the sword and shield form turning into a giant axe form. So what you do with this one is you attack with the sword and shield, or even when you defend with certain attacks, it builds up meter too. And if you know how to do it right, it's something we'll probably get into down the line. Once you do that, when you transform it into its axe form, it has the same kind of charge ability that the Switch Axe does. And then you do a ton of damage. You can do like straight up ranged elemental attacks, like ground exploding in front of you in a line type elemental attacks when you use this. But I think I'm not going to use that for now. I think what we're going to do, just for now so we can get into things, and I'm not going to use these, the Defender ones are DLC weapons that, like you can see right now, the difference between them, attack 50 to attack 110, plus a defense bonus. They're like early game cheat weapons, essentially, so they're about the same as like mid-game stuff. So I'm not going to use any of those or the armor, because there's armor that does the same thing. Both of these are, like, this is ridiculous. So we're just not gonna with these. Like, once we get actual armor that compares, like in-game, then we can use those. But I'm not gonna like just sit there and cheat. Okay, yes, the buddy board. Layered armor settings for the animals too. Which I said we'd do this. What we got? We got the Ninetales costume. Which makes it look like a little kitsune. The Elgato. Now these come from Sunbreak and the setting for that, because you actually do go to a different place. No, none cat. And just a straight up Calic. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going with the Ninetales just because it's more fun. Might change the color later, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. We can do the same thing here. Let's changes his collar to have a shuriken. It's that creepy dog from the Japanese commercials. No. Although I do kind of like that. What is this? Oh, that's interesting. Evil robot dog. Or we can make him Doge. No. This one. I kind of want to go with that one just for now. I do have ones that I'm going to get. Like there's some event quests that we can do relatively early. That'll get you other ones of these. But for now, we're going to stick with this. Do we want to... We can finish up the tour with the training area and the Buddy Plaza. Or we can do an actual quest. We are an hour and 40 minutes in, though. Honestly, I think this is just going to be the getting familiar with everything. Can I get into the thing now? Yes. Oh my god, thank you. First things first. This one. That needed to change. Gonna make that the item bar. That the action bar. I don't even want that to happen. I don't use the radial menu at all. I don't know, whatever. Well, there we go. Much better already. Thank you. This is the Buddy Plaza. I keep interrupting myself, it seems like, but yes, this is kind of an area dedicated to like all the pets and stuff, but it leads to other things too. That specifically. God, this world is so cool. Like, you can tell how much like imagination and stuff went into making all this stuff. Shirube, that one. This is the guy who runs the whole place. This is the grandson of the, what's it? Blacksmith. Yep. You can hire a ridiculous amount of both the cats and the dogs that all have different roles and stuff. There's actually some ones we'll get for free and because DLC stuff, and there's actually goals to hire a certain amount and you'll get rewards for them. I think it's like 15 and then 30-ish. Also ones for leveling them up because they level up too, not just your character. This guy handles the Meowcenaries. And yes, I did just say Meowcenaries. They do things like off-screen gathering, things like that, but there's something later in the game they do which is super helpful. But we'll get to that when it's actually time for it. Yes, they will hunt while we go on quests. This little boat takes us to the training area, which we'll go to next. This is kind of a shop-ish. In World, this particular system was done by essentially a garden you kept. Instead, in this one, it is you can send some of your cats and dogs. I'm going to actually start calling them their name, the Palicos and the Palamutes. You can send them to trade for you, and they will essentially bring back items that you've requested or special items they get in trying to get them. All this stuff happens while you're doing quests. Like, all the progress is made when you complete a quest, you come back and there's more stuff. But we'll, like, all this stuff we'll actually get into the details of when we get to them. Don't need to do that. Let's quick talk to everybody. Yes, Hunter now. So essentially what he does is he sends this little cat out to go find, I'm guessing, wildcats? Then bring them back, and he then trains them. And then you can actually, like, hire them. Yep, so they train here, which is actually what that thing in the middle was for, which I'll show you in a second. Yes, get away from... No, none of that. So you can hire buddies, you can... There's special ones you can get. Stop it. These are ones that came from DLC. You can't really change much about them. I think you can rename some of them when you hire them, but not these particular ones. So, I'll probably grab these later, just because we do need money, and we are poor. But yeah. Yeah, this guy. Yes. I want to actually show the thing. Oh, we can't do it yet. So we've got to progress a little more before it'll let us. This thing. We'll talk about that in a second. As for this one, is this still... This is Rondine. That's okay, we meet her sister later. But...
Yeah. Farewell.
Yep, nothing is actually open yet, so that's annoying. So this one... I forget what this thing is called. But this is a model of an actual monster we'll meet later that they use to train the animals. There's another one in the other training area we're going to. Now this one is just a space where you can just try shit out. I do forget what this thing is called. It's not called the same thing as the monster. And I'm not going to talk about that till we actually get that far. But it's just used to train, and you can actually set it so it'll attack you too. It shoots like water balls and stuff at you. But this whole space is for you to like get used to your weapons, get used to the wire bugs and things like that. Yep. And again, you can see like all of the basic information, the combos and things you have with your weapon. Like this whole area, this is actually really well done, like practice area. And it's here so you can just try shit out without having to worry about anything else. You may have seen the little brace with the wires. With some of these things you can actually... There's other ways you can use the wires aside from just the moving around. But we'll get into those too, because we're going to have to eventually. Now, you can actually join quests from here. And you can always access your item box from here too, and stuff for your pets, whatnot. I don't know if you noticed this guy. This is a great wire bug. Now these exist as like kind of a fast travel thing. There's actual fast travel, but they're essentially bigger versions of your little ones that can take you a lot farther, but they have like a predetermined route. Let's see. Let's go to... There's plenty of people who want to talk. Our room. Who wants to talk to us? Oh, our housekeeper. Yes, we can use the buddy dojo. So this guy just takes care of certain things for us. We can access the buddy dojo. When they open up, we can do the trading thing and the meow scenarios too. We can also customize our room a bit. Yeah, go away. We can hang scrolls up. We have these little shelves where we can put up trinkets. And if you do use the camera at all, you can actually hang up some of your photos. This was a massive downgrade from World. with Monster Hunter World, you had the ability to customize your rooms slightly. Essentially, you had like 3 different rooms that you would upgrade from like a room on a ship that you shared with other people to your own personal room to an actual like ridiculous it looked like it was in a castle type room. But with Iceborne, they had your own personal room that you got in the second hub, which was A, massive, and B, completely customizable with like tons of different stuff you could do. And in that game, you could actually capture endemic life, like the small animals that are around on the map, and like have them as pets. I do want to do World eventually, just so I can show you that, among other things. But that mostly, because it's awesome. But you can't do any of that stuff in here. You get little statues and things, and that's about it. I think there's a bit more in the expansion in Sunbreak and the second hub there, but that's about it.
Bunny Dongo are a taste of heaven.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
So, here we go with the actual, like, quests. Yes, all I've got to do... Okay, come on. The quest gate... You don't actually do that. Here's the actual quest lists. There's a couple different things you can do in this. The actual town quest counter is pretty limited because you can't do much in it. There's a whole bunch more in the hub quest counter.
Here's the quest list.
The urgent quests are like story ones. You have to do these to progress. The optional subquests are kind of just things you do as you go. You can see what kind of things are: gathering honey, gathering mushrooms, gathering bugs, picking up hunting helpers, which are endemic life that have effects that help you in the hunt. Then the actual like slaying things type stuff, and the last one is always quests in a certain area. I usually go with these. I'm probably not going to do the hunting helpers one. Well, I suppose I could. I do pick those up occasionally. And you can only have up to 5. And these are just while you're doing other quests or even just exploring areas, because you can go into where the quests are held without actual quests. They call it an expedition. And you just do this shit and you get free stuff. It doesn't interfere with anything or anything like that. I think... I don't even have to do that. Just there. Like, we don't have to walk around at all anymore in town. So these are the Gathering Hub quests. This is the multiplayer focused ones. You don't have to do multiplayer to do these, but they are designed to be done multiplayer, so they're actually more difficult than the other ones. Okay, come on. And the quest board actually lets you join in on other people's quests if they've set it up to do so. And yes, you can go through the quest gate to start, but it's completely unnecessary. Yes, the prep area upstairs, which I already showed. Come on! Don't need this much. And you can already see in the background there's a different kind of quest. Those are the event quests. So these are sorted into expeditions, which are just you go to one of the areas in the game. The original game had 5, I think, and they added a few in Sunbreak. You can just go these, and these always count at the highest level that essentially you achieved, sort of. They're really split into low rank and high rank. You can see that up there at the top. But the star level of the monsters that show up is kind of the highest available to you within the low or high level. At least that's how I understand it. Then you have the actual quests. Yeah. Lots of things to do. And yes, I did that quickly for a reason. And for event quests, we have different types too. And these are the type of, essentially the type of quests you get in the game almost completely. This is what you've got. Rampage quests or special quests, it's a kind of an RTS, tower defense type game mode. Which kind of people didn't like, although I don't really have that much of a problem with it. There's low rank, high rank, and then master rank comes purely from the expansion. It is a new rank they add on top for when you complete the actual, like, complete the game and start on the expansion stuff. So with World, Iceborne added this in, with this one Sunbreak added in. It did not exist and will not exist if you don't actually get the expansion. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff to choose. I'm not showing too much of it, but a quick look. Just to give you an idea of what we might be looking at down the line. Yeah. There's some even more weirdness here. Now I'm aware that the majority of people who end up watching this down the line, like if somebody comes and watches the VOD later on, they're probably going to be people who know Monster Hunter. But if there's anyone new who's like on the fence about it or anything like that and just looking for information on the game, like, I don't want to give too much away. Do we have another person wanting to talk? What do you want?
Sup, Ace?
Yup. Why do you talk like a surfer from the late 90s? And here we have the arena and challenge quests.
Sure thing. Keep it up.
Let's actually take a look at them. Go away. Arena quests, these all happen in the arena. Yes, that's one of the monsters we'll be facing. You are limited on the gear you can use for these, and you are ranked by time. But they have interesting rewards. A lot of times it's things like stickers or poses for your character, that kind of thing. And most of them are high level. But they can also be like layered armor, or some of them have, if I remember right, some of them have some of the special moves you can get that use wire bugs. Things like that. But that's kind of it for anything we can do here. There's some other people we could talk to. This guy gives us stuff later on. Things like that. But I think, how are we doing on time? We are just under 2 hours. Could we do
A special quest is
Urgent Quest? If I remember right, this is just about moving around with the wire bugs and stuff. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to call it here. Now that we've gotten all this stuff out of the way, the next time we do this, which will probably be next Tuesday, we can get into like the actual quests and see how like moving around and stuff and that is different from the normal stuff. What we can start doing with like the actual hunting in the game. Well, that reminds me.
Hey, birdie.
Yes, we can actually interact with the pets. I guess this will be like the one thing I show before we go. Like we can pet them, we can feed them. that kind of thing. One thing I want to do, we actually have some stuff we've gotten here. So I'll show these things real quick, and then we'll kind of call it. And next Tuesday when we come back to this, because I'm going to do, I don't know if it's going to be Thursday, but I'm going to do a Minecraft stream. And not like back on the Beehive SMP. Kind of called it quits on that for now. Like, I'm still playing on there occasionally, and I'm still working on like the house and that tower and all that stuff. But, and I'll do some update streams on that down the line. But I'm going to actually start doing some, it's fluffy. Okay, I need to get down from here if I'm going to do this, because, yeesh. Go on. Down here, where we have some actual space to do this. But yeah, I'm going to start doing some, like, creative building streams, just chilling out and stuff like that. Probably take some... No, that's not what I wanted to do. Come back. I'm trying to do too many things at once, which includes talking and anything else. I don't know why that's such a problem today, but there we go. Okay, but yeah, I'm going to do some creative streams, just building shit for the hell of it. I'll probably do like some requests if people want, like build some things that people ask. Robo Owl is creepy. That one's kind of cool. That's not an owl anymore. I don't... It's like the old, like, noble fox hunting outfit. That... I hate that. That one's a dragon. We might go with the dragon.
Nice.
Little sailor dude. Penguin! That... They can't fly. This doesn't make sense. I mean, it's adorable. But still.
Nice.
That looks... That looks like a monster from Iceborne. Not a reindeer. That's gonna bug me. And this one... Is this supposed to be a Valentine's Day thing or something? I'm confused. We're going with the dragon.
Nice.
Although I'm going to change the color because the yellow bugs me, but... Oh, that's actually like a really good... Let's start with... Good red dragon. Oh, that looks really good. I could probably leave that as is. But... That's an interesting look. I find that an interesting bit of foreshadowing, considering one of the things we're going to run into later. You know what? We're going to go with that. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Okay. Guess it does a little trick. Yeah, I guess we're good there. We have a dragon now. Now there's some stuff you can do with the other animals too, but I'll save that for another time. I guess we're going to call it, and yeah, next time we'll get into the actual quests. I know things took a little longer than I planned, but that's just kind of always the way it is with these kind of games. Like, for some reason, like, they just front load so much stuff. But yeah, we got to take a look around the village. We've gotten all the tutorial stuff out of the way. And next time we can get into like the actual meat of the game. So I guess that's what we're going to do. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.